All right, parents. Well, this is an introduction video to our system that we have nicknamed Einstein, and it is what we use to track students' progress, their practice time. We put their assignment sheets in there. Their test scores on the assessments are in there. Upcoming Friday Fest or previous Friday Fest. All kinds of goodies are in here. It's only valuable if parents and students actually use it. So let me take a minute here and illustrate the benefits of using it and what it looks like both from a student's perspective, parents' perspective. Okay, so once you're at the home page, musicpillars.com, you'd come over here to Parent Resources. Under Parent Resources, there's lots of additional things here, but today we're going to log into Pillars. Okay, first let's experience this from a parent's login. We press on Parent Login. It takes us here. We press Guardian. And then you can use Google+, although if sometimes it's finicky on our system, you would have your username is your email, and then your password. If you can't remember your password or you need help, let us know. We can send it over to you, okay? So you could either log in with email, which I'm going to do now, or if you have a Gmail account, you can press sign in with Google or sign in with your Facebook account, okay? All right, so now once we've logged in, we have all of our kids here, and then the real information is under Get Detail. So I'm going to go ahead and take MP Kid here. I'm going to press Get Detail. Let's just go through a little bit about what's here. So over here are the assignment sheets. So obviously MP Kid is a fictitious kid, so he hasn't had a lesson in a while. But if I were to click on this eyeball here, it would open up the information from his last lesson. Okay, so let's start at the top. So first we have the student's name, who taught the student. These are for their lessons, which are going to be 1 week from that date. So you can go backwards from this date and know that Scott taught MP Kid on the 15th of October. Okay, their total practice time that they've tracked in the system shows up on their assignment sheet. I'll also show you another place where you can see it, what the lesson was about, and then your student's username is printed off on every assignment sheet in case you forget it, okay? So in the case of MP Kid, this is his username right here. Okay, upcoming Friday Fest pieces, what songs he is doing, the time, the date, and you can even see, although it's not necessary here, all of the inner details that we program the pianos for to create a richer sound. Scrolling down here, if your child happens to be performing in church, we have a whole section here where we're monitoring their progress, getting ready to perform at one of their churches, okay? Things they did well in the lesson, something we would like them to work on. Then here we have our love piece. Remember that love is the first pillar of Music Pillars, right? So we want students, although we certainly are going to be using all the fundamentals in building their musicianship, we do want them to be doing at least one piece of music, maybe two, that they pick. Doesn't matter to us if that piece is Mozart, Metallica. It makes no difference to us what it is. What's important is that the student really likes the piece of music. Then on here, under Technique and Artistry, this is the page number they've been assigned and the current level that they are at. Now, of course, the comments would be more than just do this, okay? But let me show you here the videos. This is often overlooked and is such a valuable resource. So under here, whenever you see this camera, that means that there are videos here that the student can click on and watch. The audio is not going to come through on this very well, okay? And you can see and hear. So we have the exact fingering as marked in the book that we're playing, okay, as well as the tempo and so forth. So they can blow that up and take a look at that, slow it down, go backwards, whatever they need, okay? But all these training, it's a very, very powerful tool. All right, we come back in here to assignment sheet. So that was Mexican jumping beans. Same with this video. This would be a video for what they're doing in the performance book, okay? Down here are additional assignments and so forth. Over here, if your child is in a practice time competition, excuse me, and they have forgot to track their time, and you as the parent would like to add some time because you know you've been tracking their practice, maybe in a different way, maybe at your house, you don't have them online at all on the computer to look at the assignment sheet. So you have some clipboard on your refrigerator or whatever, but you want them to compete in the practice time challenge, which requires the entry to be placed into Einstein. You can add time. So if you know that this week they did that, I could add and say, I know that they did 60 minutes of that over this week, and I would hit save time. And now we have 1 hour of time tracked there. Okay, so that's the assignment sheet. Now, let's take a moment here and look at, you can see past Friday Fest, upcoming Friday Fest. Student exams typically are their composition test if they have taken any. Okay, now coming down here to the next part of the dashboard, we have the pillars, right? So we have our 8 pillars: audiation, music theory, sight reading, improvisation, dexterity, pattern recognition, composition, and love. And then we see their test scores at each level. There are 10 levels of each of the pillars. There are 80 exams in total. Okay, so if you would like to know, obviously, how they did, you can see here if they have a light green or dark green, that means they have passed that level. Okay, now if you'd like to know what is actually covered on there, I could click dexterity, for example, level 2, and I click here, and here are the concepts that were covered in the exam and how your student did. It was firm fingertips for forte, light and relaxed thumb, wrist float-offs, crescendo and diminuendo, and playing different dynamics for dexterity. Okay, if I wanted to see what was covered in music theory, why did they fail level 4 music theory? What was covered in there? We have our time signatures, identify and name chords, major, minor, and chromatic scales, tonic, dominant, leading tone, identify 1, 4, and 5, 7 chords, ledger line notes, 16th notes. Coming down here, now this is the book time tracker. This shows us the amount of practice time they've had over a certain date. If you'd like to change that time, you come down here and modify the dates. For example, if I were to pick January 1st of 2020 through today, March 20th, and hit apply, and then press filter, the practice time is going to be just the time that I added a few minutes ago, which was 1 hour. Okay, parents, so I know that was a lot of information, but again, Einstein is a very powerful tool if you use it, which is an important factor. But essentially what Einstein does is it helps you monitor your child or student's progress. It allows you to track practice time. You can review your assignment sheets and all of the notes from your teacher. You can also see and review and use all the video tutorials that are in there. You also can review and see test scores and the specifics related to that test score, and also see past Friday Fest as well as future Friday Fest. It's a very powerful tool, and we hope you enjoy it. We have designed it specifically for the success of the parent, the child, and our studio.